Welcome to Audiobook 365 Stories.
I have something to tell. When I came home from my grandmother's house, the stage driver dropped me at the door because I was in his care. I saw my little sister in my mother's arms. Right away, I felt hate for her grow inside me. I know this sounds wrong. In most homes, the baby is the light and joy. The baby is loved by everyone, from the smallest to the biggest, and the whole family is happy to love the baby. But remember, I was already 10 years old, and I had no one else to compete with for my parents' love. I was always the most important person to my father and mother. They gave me all their attention, and I was still treated like the baby of the family. So it was hard for me to lose my special place as the baby so suddenly. When I went into the house, Nurse Sykes met me with a smile that felt like a slap. "Someone's got a broken nose, I think," she said with a mean laugh. No one had talked to me about the new baby before, and I think that was where the problem started. But I quickly understood what she meant, and I turned my head in anger, not saying anything. Nurse Sykes was probably not a bad person. She couldn't be, because everyone in the neighborhood wanted her when they were sick, but she was not careful with her words. I think my anger and pride made her laugh, so she kept teasing me. "Ho, ho, Miss Fancy. Doesn't want to see her baby sister, does she? Well, to be honest, I don't think anyone will miss you much. Papa and Mama love Miss Baby very much. She's something new, you know, and I think she'll be fine, even if you don't care." I would never let her see how sad and angry I felt inside. I ran away, not to my own room, which was next to my mother's, but to a faraway room, and there I stayed with my pain alone. Crying would have helped me feel better, but my pride stopped me. I didn't want anyone to see my red eyes and know how I felt. I said to myself, bitterly, I'd rather die. I had always cried every time I was sad on my mother's kind shoulder. After some time, I heard them calling me. "Annie, Annie, Annie. She came home half an hour ago. Where is she?" Then I knew I had to go down. I looked at myself in the mirror and saw a face with no tears, but a face changed by anger. I thought to myself, no one will notice how I look now. Then I went to my mother's room. "Come here, my darling," she said kindly. "Come and look at the baby." Baby? Couldn't she say something sweet to me after I had been away from home for 2 weeks without talking about the baby? I slowly moved toward her. "Baby is 12 days old," she said softly, seeing my angry face. "I didn't let anyone tell you because I thought it would be a nice surprise." A surprise, indeed. I repeated her words, but in a mean way that must have hurt her kind heart. "Isn't she sweet?" she asked, still trying to make me love her new baby. Mama showed me the baby's small, round, pink face and held her out to me. "I guess so." "I don't think I like babies," I said rudely. "But you love Mama, don't you? And you haven't even kissed me yet, my darling." Maybe if even then she could have put her arms around me and hugged me close to her heart, like she did when I was sad or naughty, it might have taken away my bad feelings and made me her sweet child again. But she couldn't do that because the baby was in her lap. So I gave her a cold kiss and then I left. It feels hard for me to believe now, as a grown-up, that I kept hating my baby sister more and more. I almost think you won't believe it either. I wouldn't write this story if I didn't hope it could help someone else who might feel like I did, to look at her heart in time and remove the jealousy. Jealousy is like a bad plant that always gives you bitter fruit. From the very beginning, little Lilias, or Lily, as everyone called her, was a very beautiful child. As a baby, she cried very little and never out of anger. Only real pain made her cry or made her lips tremble. She never saw a sad face without trying to cheer it up in her baby way. I can remember so clearly the times my father came home, tired and worn out, and she would, without anyone telling her, do her little tricks to make him smile. She would clap her small hands, nod her golden head, and show her two tiny teeth doing everything she knew to make him happy. Lily was a weak, delicate child, and she didn't start walking as early as other children. But she began talking very early. She was not even 10 months old when she learned to call us all by our names. Strangely, my name was the first she said. Nan, 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 she would call me, like a little bird, all day long. She really liked me in a certain way. I never took care of her unless I had to, and my mother, who was very sad about how I felt toward Lily, waited for my bad feelings to go away. She didn't often ask me to play with Lily or to give up anything for her. So, Lily wasn't used to me holding or playing with her. Maybe Lily thought I couldn't take care of her, but she was always very happy just to have me around. Maybe she somehow felt that I was closer to being a baby than the others, and that made her feel more connected to me. She always seemed happy and content just watching me do whatever I was doing. When I left the room, she would call after me with her small, sweet voice, Nan. Nan, Nan. She was 1.5 years old before she started walking. Even then, she was so small and delicate that she looked like a little fairy baby walking on tiny feet. Her yellow hair sparkled in the sunlight, and her big blue eyes looked like flowers. How could I not love her? But still, I didn't. I think I did love her a little, even back then, but I was so used to seeing her as someone who took away everything that used to be mine. I never admitted to myself that I felt any kindness toward her, not even in my own heart. Father and mother were so good to me, better than I deserved. They loved me more than I can explain. I now know how much love and sadness they felt for me while they waited for the bad feelings in my heart to go away. They believed it would happen one day. They were smart enough to know that scolding me wouldn't help. They just kept loving me quietly. Even though they loved me and were always kind and patient with me, they were also very devoted to Lily, as you would expect. She was so delicate, so beautiful, and needed their care all the time. It wasn't surprising that they gave her so much attention. One day, when she was 2 years old and I was 12, I was sitting in a corner of the living room, putting a puzzle together. A lady came to visit my mother. She looked at Lily for a long time, but that wasn't unusual. Lily was so beautiful that people liked to watch her. Finally, as the lady got up to leave, she couldn't help but say, "Take good care of that little one, Mrs. Allen. She looks like a child the angels love." I saw my mother's eyes fill with tears as she answered, but I didn't hear what she said. Then she went to the door with her guest. Should I tell the sad and bitter truth? I understood, just like they did, that they thought our Lily was so weak that it would be hard to keep her alive in this cold world. For a moment, I felt a bad kind of happiness. When Lily was gone, I would be the only one my father and mother loved, just like before she came. They would love me again when they had no one else to love. I felt a guilty heat in my cheeks, and I quickly put my mat back in the box and got up to leave the room. As I left, I heard Lily's small, sweet voice call out, "Nan, Nan, Nan." For the first time, I felt that I would miss her voice when it would never call me again through the years. The next summer was very hot and strange. In July, our Lily started to get weaker. She had so much care and love, but she was always like a flower from heaven that didn't belong in this rough world. She needed the healing wind that blows forever in heaven. She got so weak that she couldn't run anymore. She would lie all day in a little crib with rose curtains. My mother would sometimes hold her, and Lily's big blue eyes would follow us around, full of love. She looked at me the longest. Every time I left the room, I would hear her small, sweet voice calling after me. One day, the doctor sat by Lily's bed for half an hour, watching her with a serious face. Then he went to speak with my mother alone. When my mother came out, her eyes were red. I knew then, what I had guessed before, that the doctor told her we had to say goodbye to our little Lily. My heart was not completely hard, because I felt soft and scared. Lily was going to God, and I wondered if she would tell him that I hated her, my baby sister, whom he gave me. I went away to pray. I had said my prayers every night and morning, but this was different. This was my heart crying out for forgiveness. Later, I went to my mother. Lily was sleeping, and my mother was sitting next to her, pale but calm. I knelt beside her and cried, "Oh, Mother, I have been so bad, and now I can't fix it. I wish I could die and let you keep Lily." She leaned over and hugged me. "If you are not fit to live, my darling, you are not fit to die," she said softly. "I can let Lily go more easily because she is still pure. I have seen your sin and your pain, and I knew you would be sorry." "Oh, I am. I am. Mother, how can I live with this? Will Lily tell God that I hated her? God already knows everything. But Lily never knew what hate was. She has always loved you. She thinks the whole world loves her. The pain your sin caused didn't touch Lily. Thank God for that. But I could have made her happier. I could have been good to her. Now, I might never have another little sister." Just then, Lily woke up and reached out with her tiny hands. She called softly. I ran to her and took her in my arms. She saw the tears on my face and touched them with her small fingers. "Naughty Nan," she said, in a sweet voice. "Naughty Nan, don't cry. You'll make Lily cry too." I wiped my tears and tried to smile, but my heart felt heavy. No matter how sad I felt, I couldn't bring back the time when I could have loved my little sister. Instead, I had hated her. What happened next? Nothing, except that Lily faded away like the summer flowers. She didn't get better. We all fade like leaves, but Lily was never a strong green leaf in the sunshine. She was like a pale, sweet day lily that lived its short life and died at sunset. The first words she ever spoke were also her last. She opened her soft eyes after being silent for a long time. She looked at me and called, "Nan, Nan, Nan." It was like she was calling me to follow her into the next life. And then, she was gone. If there has been any good in my life since then, any effort to be kind and gentle, it has been for her. I hope that one day, I will join her where she has gone, and I will know I am there when I hear her soft voice calling, "Nan, Nan, Nan." Welcome, Nan.